Hello YouTube, Connor Comics here, and today I have a haul for you. Now I have 2 months worth of comics, and I have one book that I'm going to show you first. Some people may not be interested in this, but a YouTuber that I used to watch a lot, I haven't watched much of his stuff as of late, but I still respect the guy, and that is a book that one of my friends lent me. Still haven't given it back, so that's awkward. But she still has to give me the Green Lantern Volume 1, 2, and 3. So, yeah. And that would be Username Eevee by Joe Sugg. Now, I read this. This was an amazing book. Like, the moral of the story was great. The art was great. The characters were really interesting. So, yeah, if you want a graphic novel, standalone, it's probably like, it's €15 in England, but I don't live in England. I don't know the price. So like €20 or so. But yeah, it was a really interesting book, and I would recommend it to anyone who just wants a standalone graphic novel. Now let's get into the proper comics. I'm not saying that that's not a proper comic, just you probably know what I mean. Firstly, we have issue 13 of The Amazing Spider-Man by Dan Slott. This was a really interesting issue, but I didn't get like the start of this story arc, like the first issue, so I don't really know what's going on. Because that's issue 13. I have issue 11 here. Don't have 12, because I don't know what happened. But I will tell you what I've done now and how I will sort of catch up with that. Now we have Star Wars issue 18. This was a cool Princess Leia prison escape sort of issue. Really interesting. So yeah, issue 19. We then have issue 20. I ran out of like the bags and boards. So yeah, issue 19. Let me put them in there. Then we have The Flash Rebirth, the like one-shot issue number 1. I thought this was good, not as good as I thought it was gonna be, but yeah, still a cool, interesting issue. We then have Batman Rebirth number 1, like the standalone. This was really interesting, but it sounds like it gets continued in, like the story that was going on this, it hasn't really been continued in the main story. Hopefully, and then it said that it might also be continued in All-Star Batman, so I'm planning to put that into my folder. So yeah, and now we get into the ones that I picked up today, and everything's fallen. Firstly, Amazing Spider-Man issue 14, more on the Regent story, and him taking over. This character was actually introduced in Amazing Spider-Man Renew Your Vows, and the story seems very similar, so I'm not sure if that's like, it shows like what happens in this universe and what happened in the other universe. But yeah, I haven't read it yet, but it looks interesting. Then we have The Amazing Spider-Man number 15, where now Mary Jane is apparently the Iron Spider. Interesting. Now we have issue 20 of Star Wars. Looks like more of Ben Kenobi, which I love the Ben Kenobi issues. They're always interesting. Then we have issue 21, and this I think has to be my favorite cover. Like, just, it looks so cool. I think this is now my favorite cover for a Star Wars issue. It just looks so cool and crisp. Yep, this for this week, I think I'm going to start doing that, like my favorite cover. So for this week, it's going to be issue 21 of Star Wars. Then we have The Flash issue 1. I've heard good things about this. I can't wait to read it. Because I'm sort of behind on a load of these. So yeah, issue 1 of The Flash. Now, issue 2 of The Flash. Like I said, I haven't read number 1, and I haven't read this one either, so I can't really tell you what my views on the story is so far. We then have Batman number 1. Like I said, I haven't read these yet, but the story, what I've heard of the synopsis sounds interesting. That there's these two sort of Superman and Supergirl characters in town, and Batman is trying to prove that he can take it out and prove to them that he is worthy to protect this city. I'm pretty sure that's the synopsis. Then we have issue 2. So by the look of it, they team up. So yeah. And then finally issue 3. So yeah, I can't wait to read all of these, as Batman and Flash my favorite characters. So yeah. What I have done from now on, you'll just be seeing the Flash and Batman, and maybe All-Star Batman, because I decided to stop picking up Star Wars and Spider-Man. Spider-Man was Star Wars and Spider-Man were good. Just I think I'm going to collect them in trade instead. Just so that my collection fills up a bit, and because this week alone, that's the pile. That was a lot of money. 6, 9, 12. It was €12 just for those 3 Batman issues. €6 for the Flash. So yeah, and then because they're slightly cheaper, €3 per comic. But then you also have the Marvel ones, which are €4. And then when you add in that on twice weekly, it soon adds up. So I'm just going to stick with Batman, Flash, and I will pick up All-Star Batman in the summer. Not in the summer, next month. And yeah, for the final bit of the video, if you're still here, the reason why there hasn't been as many uploads on the channel was because I've been dealing with a lot of stuff in my life, so I've sort of been trying to get that dealt with. I'm trying to help out friends because we're all going through a lot of things at the moment. So yeah, sorry for not as many uploads. That's why maybe in this video I didn't sound as joyful or this sort of thing as usual. I'm fine, just have a lot of things to deal with and just try and figure out. But yeah, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.